हमारे साथ दक्षिण भारत की जानी मानी अभिनेत्री त्रिशा हैं. Trisha is UNICEF celebrity advocate. Trisha, you recently had a virtual field visit with child rights champions in Chennai who have been carrying your message out into their communities. You must have heard many accounts of what children had to go through in this pandemic and also how they dealt with it.
Hi, good evening, and thank you for having me here. I think it was a great opportunity by UNICEF to have organized this virtual field visit because usually every year we go and meet these children and we have such fun interactions with them. But this year, unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we couldn't. And so this virtual visit was as fun and interactive as it's always been when I've met them. And the best part about it was not only were the problems being addressed, but there was a solution to every problem. And these children discussed various initiatives that they had undertaken to overcome issues such as stigmatization, raising awareness towards COVID-appropriate behavior, mobilizing community against child marriage, and writing petitions to the Chief Minister requesting for adequate transportation support because they wanted to attend the annual examinations. In fact, two of these kids, Altaf and Sangamitra, they went out of their way to make short films using their mobile phones to dispel stigma and discrimination against those infected with COVID. And they made sure these films went viral by sharing them on social media and their WhatsApp community groups to raise awareness. In fact, Altaf also made a second short film which showed us how inaccessibility to smartphones and laptops were forcing girls to quit school and start working with their parents. And there was another child called Madan, and his story was so endearing. So he and his friends heard about child marriage that was going to happen in their community. So what they did was they made this little street play, like a skit, showing the dangers of child marriage. And it was a win because there's no child marriage in their community anymore. And they stopped the one that was happening because they raised awareness through this street play. And in fact, Madan told me he was aspiring to be the chief minister and Altaf wanted to be a filmmaker, so they could put their talents and capabilities to good use. And to me, these kids are the true child rights champions.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wonderful, wonderful to hear this. We got so much to learn from our children. And with your on-ground experience and Yasmin, all the experience you've been getting over the last 8-9 months, Dr. Yasmin, what's still the gaps and what worries you and what needs to be immediately done, do you feel? What worries you right now?
So I think my biggest worry is, we heard from Trisha the beautiful way in which children have not stopped dreaming. They have not stopped aspiring. And we have to keep that going. We can't afford for our children to be down, for them to not see hope. And for that, it's really important that we make sure that they remain in a learning environment, whether it's in home, whether it's on some remote device, or there are volunteers in the community who are helping them. It's crucial that we keep their aspiration, their curiosity going. The second area I would say concerns me is how do we make sure that they don't fall deeper into any health problems, or children who are malnourished already fall deeper into malnutrition. Because we have worked so hard in India, the families, communities, the frontline workers, everyone has worked so hard to bring us to a level where we're really getting close to the targets we're setting ourselves. But if we don't pay attention to that, we're going to slip back, and it will be the children who suffer. Right. It's not just numbers. Every number, there are millions of children behind that. The third area I would say is we have to address the violence, abuse, and neglect, because we know it's hitting kids, and the pandemic is causing it to hit even harder. We do need to keep the services that are needed to support these children. At the same time, promoting a caring and supportive community so that children are not frightened. The fear factor and the stigma that goes with it. We heard from Trisha the beautiful examples of where children are taking action.
Yeah.
And that's something that's a great opportunity.
Very inspiring, actually. Yeah. And I guess we're a little bit worried right now about pandemic fatigue and everyone and youngsters wanting to just get back to living. But Trisha, it was wonderful to hear from you, and a lot of people listen to your words very carefully, and they take what you say seriously. So be careful, because I'm going to ask you, if you had one message to give to all our viewers at this time, what would it be at this crucial moment?
So Dr. Yasmin has, given us a very holistic view of the issues faced by children today and what is the need of the hour. So I would like to echo and elaborate on two of her points, which calls out to people to reimagine a different tomorrow for India's children. And the first point being is to support communities and organizations such as UNICEF, which help reduce the digital divide so that homes or villages which have no or minimal access to technology can continue with their education. Millions of children are losing out on school hours, and they lose out on their talents because of this, and capabilities and opportunities. And children, especially from vulnerable communities, are at higher risk, at being pushed to child labor and child marriage and child trafficking. So the second message is to end violence against children in schools, institutions, workplaces, and communities. So I feel we all need to act decisively and in unity to stop and end violence against children. And this can happen not only by strengthening the national child protection systems, but also by addressing mental health issues and, trying to change these intricate social norms which continue to attribute low value to children and normalize violence in India. I think we need to, and we owe it to our children, to give them a happy and a healthy upbringing. And most importantly, they need to feel safe. So we need to work towards giving them this safe environment.
Right. Trisha, thank you so much. And Dr. Yasmin Ali Haq, thank you as well.